नमस्कार। आप सभी लोग अपने घर पे सकुशल होंगे तथा कोरोना वायरस से बचने के सभी उपायों को ध्यान में रखते हुए ध्यान से सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग का पालन कर रहे होंगे। तो जैसा कि कल स्टडी वी हैव टॉक अबाउट द प्लांट किंगडम इन विच वी हैव टॉक अबाउट द थैलोफाइटा एंड ब्रायोफाइटा, देन वी हैव टू come on the next topic, that is called the pteridophyta, right? Especially on the basis of the classifications, we can say that these pteridophytes can be capable of specific categorizations. If we can talk about that, the pteridophytes are the primitive seedless vascular plants, also called cryptogamous. Means these are the primitive structures which we can say they are the seedless vascular plants, as well as we can say that these have the conspicuous sporophytic body, plant body parts, right? And we can also say about that generally they are the inconspicuous independent gametophytes and the antheridia and the partial emitter of the archigonia having four root necks, or according to the scientist Haeckel, he coined this pteridophytes. According to his classification, he tells about the 13,000 species of the pteridophytes have been reported by him. Evenly, we can say perhaps the first land plants evolved during the Ordovician. It is the Maya, means you can say million years ago. That is the 450 to 500 million years ago, in that period, right? So on the basis of this, they are the general structures, and if we talk about their classification, their importance, there where they can be found, and what about their structures, on the basis of that we have to talk about their, first of all we have to talk about their habitat. Right? If we can say about their habitat, generally the pteridophytes can be capable to survive or found into the cool and damp shady places where they can be maybe develop, or they can be growth on the sandy soil conditions also. For example, we can say Azolla, Salvinia, Marcellia, and the different species of aquatic pteridophytes are found in different places. Right? We can also say that the plant body, if we can talk about the plant body, means as you can the vascular tissue present but vessels are absent from the xylem and companion cells or sheep tubes are, means these are the absent. Only xylem can present, but the their vessels are absent in that condition. So we can say that these are the most important part of the plant kingdom. So if we can talk about the plant body, what will happen? The size varies from the fraction to the centimeters. Means they will started from the centimeters to some other long trees up to 20 meters. If we can talk about in the Azolla is a very small, or they can be growth from the centimeter to the meters. We can say that if we can talk about the Angiosperm's, that plant can up to 20 meters long. As well as we can say the main plant body is a sporophyte which can be differentiated into true root, stem and leaves. Basically the pteridophytes are the plants kingdom which can be classified especially into distinct with parts of the plant, that is we can say that they can be classified into the root, stem and leaf. Before that, if we talk about the thallophyta and the bryophyta, in that conditions the plant body is not classified in such parts. There is, in place of the leaf they have the some other parts of the structures, in place of the root they have the rhizoids, they do not have the stem also. So especially in conditions of the pteridophytes, they can be classified in these three categories. Later on we can talk about their vascular tissues. Means we can say these organs possess the well differentiated vascular tissues through which they can be capable to grow on. Evenly we can say the leaves are small, they are known as microphallus. When the leaves are very small in size, in that conditions the plants are known as microphallus, and whenever the leaves are larger, abroader, lamina is abroader, in that condition they are known as macrophallus. So as in cell Langnila, they are the, especially we can say the microphallus. In other hand, we can say macrophallus, in which the leaves are broader, that is known as Dryopatris, means ferns. If you have seen the fern, right, they are the generally ornamental plants especially. So in that condition they have the such type of structures in their surroundings. Evenly, then we have to talk about the vascular tissues. Vascular tissues everybody knows about the vascular tissues that they are the xylem and phloem, right? Means if we can talk about the pteridophytes plants, in that conditions the plant evolved the first terrestrial plant to possess xylem and phloem throughout their body. Means especially before this the plant kingdom does not contain the this xylem and phloem, but after this they have to the xylem and phloem in their body. We can say xylem consists of the tracheids and phloem is made up of the sheep cells, and the other cells are generally absent. Only these two cells can be found over there, but other cells are generally absent, means they do not have the some other parts of this consisting. So we can say they are most important. As well as on the other hand, we can talk about the sporophylls. What are the that is sporophylls? We can say the sporophytes bear sporangia that are the subtended by the leaf-like appendages called the sporophylls. Means generally these plants have the some sporangia which are just like the leaf-like structure. So we can say the sporophylls are present over. But if we talk about that, in some cases the sporophylls may be distinct compact structure called the strobili. Means these storophylls can have the storovilli or the cones, right? And we can say the sporangia produces spores by meiosis in spore mother cells, and during the reproductions they can be capable to produce the spores by the process of the cis cell division, which can capable to form the spores. And if we talk about the spores, what about the spores? We can talk about the spores. Generally the spores germinate to give rise to inconspicuous small but multicellular free living mostly photosynthetic thalloids gametophytes called the prothallus. Means we can say the sporangia produces spores by the meiosis process, right? By in the spore mother cells, and spores germinate into a produce multicellular thalloid. Whenever these spores can start to grow up, whenever these spores can start to develop or grown on the surface of the soil, in that conditions we can say they are known as prothallus, right? In other conditions we can say the majority of the pteridophytes, all the spores are similar kind, such as plant are called homosporous. Means whenever these spores are same, they structure morphologically they are the same, in that condition they are known as the homosporous, right? Or again you must memorize that sporangia can produce the spores with the help of the meiosis. Cell division take place in the spore mother cells, and these spores can germinate, can develop to produce the multicellular thalloid structure that is known as prothallus, right? Evenly we can say during the gametophytes, but before you know about that, this prothallus can be have the same structures. Means when the spores are similar structures, similar kind of plant are called known as homoporous, right? Evenly there are some other are known as heteroporous. Means in which conditions we can say the Salmonella and the Salvinia produces two kinds of these spores, macro and micro. Means generally especially Selaglina and Salvinia, these are two types of the pteridophytes which can produce the different types of these spores, means microspores and the megaspores on the basis of size. So they are known as heterosporous in that conditions. If we can talk about the gametophytes, or in that conditions, especially whenever there is a reproduction will take place in this structure, in that particular conditions there is some structure can be changes. So if we talk about these gametophytes, there is the thalloid gametophyte or the prothallus requires cool, especially they can be needed some specific places. We can say these gametophytes can be needed the cool, damp, shady places to grow. Means these gametes can be grow only in such places where the temperature is down and damp and the shady places. Evenly we can say megaspore and the microspore germinate and give rise to female and male gametophytes respectively. Means that megaspore can be developed and change into the female as well as the microspores can be changed into the male. So because the female gametophyte in the plant is retained on the parent sporophytes for a viable periods. In most of the ferns, the prothallus is green and autotropic. यानी जो प्रोटोथेलस होता है वो ग्रीन होता है, एटोट्रोपिक होता है. एज वेल एज वी कैन से द हेट्रोपोरस फर्न्स एंड फीमेल्स gametophyte are depend on the food storage by the megaspores. So this can be classified on the basis of their structure. If we can talk about the sex organs in the pteridophytes plants, we can say that especially in such conditions the gametophytes bear male sex organs called the antheridia and the female sex organ known as archegonia. So antheridium is the sessels of the surrounded by a single layer jacketed, especially जो सेक्स ऑर्गन्स होते हैं इसमें टेरिडोफाइट्स में, इसके अंदर जो एंथ्रीडिया होता है दे कैन ऑलवेज सराउंडेड बाय अ सिंगल जैकेटेड. बट आर्चिगोनियम इज अ फ्लैश्ड शेप स्ट्रक्चर विच कैन बी पार्सली इमीडिएट, जो उसके अंदर धसा हुआ रहता हुआ है, राइट. And if we can talk about the fertilization, how the fertilization can take place in the pteridophytes. So for that there is some special conditions can be also found over there. So we can say especially the water is required for the transfer of anthrazoids, means male gametes, right. And when the anthrazoid released from the antheridia and reached to the mouth of the archegonium through the film of the water, means when the male gamete can be always transport with the help of water to the archegonium, right. And when they can be reached over there, the fusion of male gamete with the egg present in the archegonium results in formation of zygote. The zygote develops into the multicellular and well differentiated sporophyte which is diploid in condition, means 2n in conditions, especially they diploid and haploid. Haploid condition means single n conditions, means whenever the chromosome can be divided and they are in the n numbers, and when 2n number, then in that condition we can say they are the diploid. So this sporophytes is always dominant phases of the pteridophytes. Then we have to talk about the embryo, means how the embryo can be developed in the pteridophytes. For that you have to know especially the fertilization produces zygote that undergo division to produce embryo. The development of the zygote into young embryo take place within the female gametophyte, and even it is a precursor of the seed habit and considered as the important step in evolving evolutions. As well as we can say especially as examples Drypatris, Selenganella and Adenotum and Equatorium and Sylvania. They are different structures where they can be easily developed with the help of this one. Then we have to talk about the classifications of this pteridophytes. Generally, pteridophytes can be classified especially into 4 categories, right. They can be classified into 4 categories. They are, we can say, Coleopsida, means Coleoptum, their examples, right. And evenly we can say Lycopsida, that is Selengalia and Lycopodium, their examples. The third category is Sphagnopsida, that is Equistum, and the last one Pteropsida, that is Drypatris or the Patris Edientum. These are different types of the pteridophytes which you will later study in the higher classes in the BSc or MSc. So then we have to talk about the economic importance of this pteridophyte. What is the uses of this pteridophytes in our life, in our daily life? For that we have to talk about especially that pteridophytes are the good source of food for animals. Especially these pteridophytes can be utilized by the different animals because this sporocarp of the Marcella is edible. Angiospermatris and Alsospela starchy pitch eaten by the native, especially in Australia. Means lots of cats, lots of animals can capable to eat these pteridophytes plants. Evenly, if we can talk about the fern protects soil erosion by the providing good cover of the hills, slope, and other fragile places. You have general aware that these pteridophytes can be grown especially on the hilly areas where they can capable to maintain, to avoid, to protect the soil erosion, right, with the help of their roots evenly. And if we talk about the ecosystem, that stem have rough surface, they are used to scrubbing the polishing, means we can use the ecosystem stem because the surface is rough, so it can be used as a polishing. As well as azolla, a water fern, has been symbiotic association with nitrogen fixation cyanobacteria. Which azolla is very important because it can capable to show the mutual process for the symbiotic process with the atmospheric nitrogen, means it can capable to convert the atmospheric nitrogen to nitrate, right? So it can be also acts as the anabina azolla, right? And it is cultured in the paddy field to herbal nitrogen fixations, so bacterium, so it is as the utilized as the biofertilizers, means this azolla can be very useful for the paddy culturing, in which it can be acts like a biofertilizers. Later on we can say the rhizomes and the petioles of the Drypetes are used to produce anti-helminthic drug, right? Means Drypetrix root can be used for the making such type of structures, right? Means anti-helminthic means all the different helminthics can be effect on our body, so their rhizomes can be utilized to protect our body from the such conditions. Evenly we can say the other hand, we there is a other root of the एडिएंटम कैन बी क्योर टू थ्रोट इन्फेक्शन, मीन्स जो हमारे गले में इन्फेक्शन हो जाता है उसके लिए भी एक टेट्राफाइट्स आता है दैट इज कॉल्ड एडिएंटम विच कैन बी यूज फॉर द क्योर अबाउट द इन्फेक्शंस ऑफ द थ्रोट. इवनली lycopodium is the used treatment of the pneumatism and disorder of the lungs and the kidneys. It means that जो लाइकोपोडियम है इट कैन बी यूटिलाइज फॉर द रिक्रिएशंस ऑफ द डिजीजेस ऑफ द किडनी एज वेल एज द lungs. So last one we can say fern are also grown as the ornamental plants for their graceful plant body. Generally you have seen so many people can utilize these ferns as the ornamental plants to decorate their houses and different places. The people can say the structure of these bryophytes and the pteridophytes are similar, but there is some difference can be easily seen. So boys, you must learn about the difference between the bryophytes and pteridophytes because both can be needed, both things for their survival. Water also, air also, as well as the soil also. Means they can be, as we have, I have already explained you about the bryophytes and the amphibians of the plant kingdom, but later you have to know about this one, that it is very important one. So if we can talk about the bryophytes and pteridophytes differences, in that conditions we can understand that the main part of body is gametophyte, but in the pteridophyte there is the main part of body is sporophyte. If we can talk about the bryophyte, they have non-vascular plants, but pteridophytes are vascular plants. Sporophytes is parasitic over the gametophyte, but sporophyte is independent of the gametophytes in pteridophytes. In bryophytes, the plant body can be thallus or foliose, but in case of the pteridophytes, their body can be differentiated into stem, leaves, and roots. If we can talk about the bryophytes, the true stem and leaves are not present, but in pteridophytes, the true stem and leaves are present. In bryophytes, the roots are absent, rhizoids are present, but in pteridophytes, the roots are proper developed. And sex organs are stocked in bryophytes, but in case of the pteridophytes, the sex organs are sessile. Evenly, we can say the wall of the archegonium neck is 5 to 6 root, but in case of the pteridophyte, the wall of archegonium neck is 4 root. So this way the topic of the pteridophyte is completed. Tomorrow we will discuss about the next topic in this lesson, that is gymnosperm, in which we will study especially about the localitic structures of the plants and other one. So you must prepare the notes about the structure of this pteridophytes, and if you have not prepared your notes from your Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta, you must complete these notes now. So it will help you a lot. And just stay in your home and make social distance